Hey folks, today we are going to be doing some sketches for our next project, which is going to be wire. You have the choice of doing a human figure, an animal figure, or something like a plant or a tree. But before we do it, we have to do a couple sketches so you know what you're doing going into it. So I'm going to show you some examples of what makes a good sketch, what makes a bad sketch, and kind of how to build off of a really simple little drawing. So by now you've looked at the slides and you saw that a lot of the examples are going to look something like this. They're going to have, kind of like a little figure and maybe some kind of action pose. It's not static. What I mean by that is it's doing something. It's running, it's jumping, it's, being a ballerina. There's some kind of pose associated with it. And it's not just a stick figure. It's also kind of heavily built up with wire. You might see in the examples there's a couple different ways that people have done it. They might kind of like build it up almost like a figure drawing, like if they're drawing it themselves, kind of drawing with the wire. And you might have seen some examples have it where it's literally just like wrapped around and around and around like this. There's no real right or wrong way to do it. It just is kind of what the artist prefers and what kind of style you're going for with the kind of like line quality. So as I'm drawing here, this can be our first example of what makes a good sketch. It isn't a static pose, right? They're not just like standing there. And it's fleshed out. It's not just a stick figure. It started as a stick figure, but I went around and just kind of like fleshed it out. If you're not quite sure how to do that, I would say make your little stick figure, right? Make your little stick guy. I don't really know what he's doing. And you can just kind of scribble around and around and around and around until he's full. What you don't want to do, please don't do this. Please don't make your little stick person and do that and say I'm done. Please don't do that. I know you can all do better than that. So here's what we want to do. We want to have, I'm going to say 6 sketches. And you might go 6 sketches, but do we have to do 6 sketches? And the answer is yes, you have to do 6 sketches. If you have a clear idea of what you want to do, like if you're going to do a tree, I would say maybe practice, kind of different kinds of trees, right? Like you could have some like weird tree where like maybe the top of it's dead and there's a bunch of branches dangling down or something, right? You could, now I'm kind of scribbling like I told you not to do. You could have something like that where it maybe has like a broken off top, like it was in a storm or something, or maybe it's a really old tree. Maybe you would have kind of like a little palm tree or something, right? There's all sorts of different things you could do. So just one more thing. So 6 sketches, whether you want to do a figure, animal, person, plant, whatever. You can try different ones. Like maybe if you're not sure, you could try sketching a couple trees and a couple figures, or maybe a bunch of different animals and you want to see what your favorite one is. If we go to animals, just one other tip, same as with the people, I recommend making a little stick figure. So say you want to make a cat, I would literally just like make a little stick figure of it. Don't forget that animals and people have like joints. So what I mean by that is elbows, basically knees. Don't just draw one straight line down. It's not just like one bone sticking down like that. But I started with a little stick figure, just like so. If you're stumped, I suggest looking at a picture on your iPad of what your animal looks like. And then same thing, we can just kind of start to fill it in from there. Scribbling around and around. And when I say scribbling, I mean organized scribbling, not just like that scribbling. It should look how you want your finished wire project to look. And keep in mind, we are going to have the option to put some plaster strips on top of it too, which that probably seems mysterious to you, but we will talk more about that when we get to that step. Maybe I want the tail curled a little bit instead. So, whether it's a person, an animal, a plant, whether you have a combination of different sketches, you need 6 of them, and they should be fairly well filled out, of like these. It doesn't have to be big, right? You can fit all of them on one page. But I would recommend not making them teeny tiny. If you make them tiny like that, it's hard to do. So I would say about like this, times 6. I'm going to put in Canvas, there'll be a finished page with 6 drawings. That kind of gives you a better idea too. There is paper up front for you, and you can use a pen, pencil, whatever you have for drawing. You can use whatever you want to do this. Even Sketchbook. You could use Sketchbook and then just save it and upload it to Canvas that way too. Anyway, thanks for sticking around for the whole 6 minutes. Have a great rest of your day, and we will continue with our wire project next time.